Good morning. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Derek Mitchell, and I'm here today to talk about your diet and your health and the best ways for you to try to optimize them and maybe make it so that you feel a little bit better about what you're doing and moving forward, maybe in small steps or maybe in a little bit bigger increments to be able to get forward, to get some weight loss or to improve your inner health. And there's three things that I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to keep this short, but I just wanted to talk about uh, things that I've gotten in my experience and things that I've been, exploring lately as well. Fundamentally, the focus, and if you haven't seen my videos in the past, the focus I've had is on ketogenic eating, so eating healthy meats, and that's including somewhat fatty meats. Try not to eat too many lean meats because that increases the protein. But the first thing is always in my focus is diet. So eating healthy meats, not eating a lot of carbohydrates, being able to improve just feeling good about the food you're ingesting. And everybody's got a different opinion about what that would be, but essentially eliminating those things that could be, and I say could be because every person has a different sensitivity to carbohydrate levels. So processed foods, absolutely, we want to remove those from the diet. Um, that would include fast food restaurants. That would include pasta, rice, potatoes, and bread. Bread is it acts somewhat like sugar in your body when you're eating it. And focus on things like fatty meats, steak, hamburger, fish is really healthy, and it's good for you as well. And if you want vegetables, you can have some, but you're gonna need to limit those because of the carbohydrate levels. But they're good for the fiber content. You want to keep it to green vegetables that that are healthy and that don't affect your carbohydrate levels. Personally, I keep them around the 20 grams per day, and that's total grams for me. But there are days that I go above. Like yesterday, I indulged myself a little bit. I still kept the carbohydrate level low, but it was higher than I normally do. So what I did was I made some pancakes in the morning with cream cheese and eggs, and a little stevia, and some cinnamon. Mix that together to make a pancake mix. Put it in the pan, fried it up with some butter, and I also use some very low sugar syrup, which basically for 3 tablespoons of syrup. The company is Edie Smith. Syrup is really good, and the carbohydrate levels for 3 tablespoons of their syrup, I believe, was 6 or 7 grams of carbs for that syrup. And then there was, of course, the cream cheese does have some, but they're low carbs. Really enjoyed the pancakes. Yesterday I had and then I had some coconut oil in my coffee, which I do a lot, and blend it together in a blender, which is really tasty, along with some stevia. In the late afternoon, around 5 or 6 p.m., I had, and it was good. I could do this because it was my day off work. So I basically had some, during the day, I had that coconut oil coffee a couple of times. And around 5 or 6, I had 2 pork chops, and, cooked them up really nicely. Had those for sort of dinner. And again, and a decaf coffee in the evening. I don't drink caffeinated coffee usually after my first ones in the morning, and the rest of the day it's decaf. Just don't want to stress your adrenal glands. And then after that, around 9 o'clock, normally I don't eat later, but I actually started to get hungry. So I had some hamburger that I just bought yesterday at a shop in Niagara Falls called La Coco's, and they have some pretty good pricing for their meat. And I bought some there. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have a hamburger, and I put some mozzarella cheese on top, and with some hot sauce as well. And it was really tasty. Enjoyed it. Probably a little bit late at night. I don't normally eat at 9 o'clock at night, but I did last night, and I enjoyed it. So that was my day of eating. So that's the kind of eating that I do. I mean, I eat fish. Sometimes, like about twice a week, I'll eat something like spinach or broccoli, but I don't eat it every day. And yeah, I try to keep my fats up, keep the carbs low, and the protein moderate. And when I say moderate, for me personally, it's between about 80 grams to 100 grams a day, and that's as much as I like to keep it. Now, with those 2 pork chops and the hamburger yesterday, I might have actually gone a little bit above the protein level. I think that you need to play it by ear. You need to experiment with yourself to determine what levels of carbs, fats, and protein you need for you. But there's baselines. You want to aim in the ketogenic eating pattern. You want to aim for around 80% if you can get it at that for the fat level. 5% or no more than 5% for the carbohydrates of your total calories, and for the protein, 15-20% at the most. And protein for the size of person I am, which is about 5'10" and a half, I guess you could say, and I I'm currently weighing about 187 pounds, so I'm fluctuating between 185 and 187. I'm starting to work on taking off that 7 more pounds to get down to 180, and that's the weight I'm going to settle at. When I started this round of eating ketogenically, and I've had three major efforts to lose weight over the years, over 10, 15 years. Um, this time I started at 244 pounds late last August, August 2014, the end of the month, and then I essentially lost the majority, got it down to under 200 pounds within 4 or 5 months, and then I've been sort of slowly just sort of coming down in weight over that the extended period of time. So we're coming up to the very shortly coming up to the year anniversary of this round of low carb eating or ketogenic eating. So very happy with that. Sorry I went a little long on that, but diet is very important. Second is the peace of mind, is the state of mind. Is you need to find a way to have a lifestyle that you enjoy, and you're finding things that satisfy your desires in life, whatever they may be, your productivity, work, your socialization is very important, to be socializing with people, not isolating yourself, having a mindset where you're happy about the way you're living. And I know you can't always be happy, but the majority of the time you want to try to aim for that. You want to be able to focus on the things that you really enjoy doing in your life. Not saying you never indulge, but try to keep the food indulgence down and indulge in things that you really enjoy. So going out to coffee with friends, perhaps dinners, perhaps camping trip if you like camping in the summer or the winter, even if you like that. Just things that really satisfy your life desire. If you have a partner, that's absolutely wonderful that you have somebody to share your time with. Those kind of things put a smile on your face. Something I'm working towards. It's always been a struggle for me throughout my life. It's that I've had the addiction to food and other things as well. And soon I'm going to be starting a series on financial focus, is to making sure that you have the right mindset on how to not spend too much money. Some people are fine, they have no issues, but sometimes if you have a food addiction or you have a food issue over the years, that you may also have a tendency to impulse spend on things just to make yourself feel better. So one of my videos coming up shortly will be starting to talk about how you can focus on not spending money when you don't need to, and spending it on those things that are important to you. So and if you have a low income, and I've been through a life experience recently where I went from a higher paying job to a lower paying job, and this is why I need to focus on enjoying the things that I can with the amount of money I have available to me, and not getting too focused on, okay, you need money to enjoy life, because you don't. I mean, it's always nice to have additional funds, I'm not disagreeing with that, but you need to focus on what kinds of things make your life enjoyable, instead of just spending money to spend money. So that's the second part is enjoying your life, understanding that those kind of mindsets are going to make life a little bit easier. The third one is one that's maybe talked about sometimes but not others, is your sleep. So a lot of people don't get a good night's sleep, or they don't get enough hours of sleep. Sleep is really important. It affects your hormone levels, your cortisol levels when you wake up in the morning. If you don't have a good sleep, you're going to have higher levels of cortisol. Um, it's very, very important that you get a decent night's sleep. And the earlier in North America, the earlier you get to bed, the better. So sometimes, because I work a later shift, sometimes I may not get to bed till 11:30 or midnight. Other times I'm working earlier and I can get to bed at 10:30, which is my target. Go to bed, go to sleep. And then the other thing is to try to have a good night's sleep, and that's finding ways to de-stress yourself before you get to bed. have no electronic equipment on in the room. If you have a lot of LED lights, like from a clock radio or some other device that you that are in the room, maybe face them towards the wall so you don't see the light, or remove them from the room if that's suitable. If you need an alarm clock to wake up in the morning for whatever reason, then have it face the other way so you don't see the light glaring at you while you're sleeping, or face away from it. At least that will improve your sleep pattern. Okay, so I'm not gonna go on too much, but those three things are really urgent. Uh, Diet. Have a diet that works for you. Experiment with the kinds of levels of carbs, protein, and fats that work for you. Have a good mindset. Try to be as happy as you can be. Everybody's not happy all the time, but the majority of the time, if you can find a way to enjoy your life, and even if you don't have a lot of funds, try to find things to do that are low cost or free. And I'll talk more about that in future videos as well. And then third is your sleep. Get a good night's sleep, get a quality sleep, get enough hours. I mean, enough hours, in my opinion, is between 7 and 8. Some people need 9. But if you find yourself, you're just so stuck in your situation, you can't get 7 hours. Um, if you can find a way to adjust that so you can get 7 hours of quality sleep and de-stress yourself before you go to bed, maybe an hour before you hit the sack, maybe stop watching TV and find something that soothes you. Maybe read a little bit, or just, I mean, some people do meditation, some people just pray. It all depends on what makes you relaxed. I hope that helps, and I'm very thankful for you spending some time watching today. The next video I'll have again is on financial focus, on finding ways to improve your financial situation, or to at least refocus where you disperse your funds. My name is Derek Mitchell. My email address is niagaraedge@gmail.com. Please feel free to like this video if you do like it. And once again, thank you for spending your time today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.